What if I told you the story of America's discovery is off by 500 years? What if the tale you learned in school, the one about brave explorers and new worlds, left out a crucial chapter, one that changes everything we thought we knew about the first footsteps on this continent? We all know the rhyme. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It's a catchy line, echoing through classrooms and history books for generations. But what if the real story began centuries earlier, across stormy seas and icy winds? History's real timeline is more surprising and far more complex than most of us realize. The truth is, the Americas were not a blank slate waiting to be discovered. They were already part of a much older, interconnected world. Long before Columbus, Norse explorers from Scandinavia, what we call Vikings, crossed the North Atlantic. Driven by curiosity, survival, and the promise of new lands, they braved the unknown in wooden ships, guided only by the elements and their own daring spirit. Their journey isn't just legend, it's written in the soil of North America. Every artifact unearthed, every fragment of iron or wood, whispers a story of adventure and resilience. This isn't about changing a date, it's about rethinking what discovery means. Who gets to write history, and whose stories are left in the shadows. The Norse arrival in the Americas is a testament to human ingenuity and the drive to explore. Their skills in shipbuilding, navigation, and survival were unmatched for their time. They navigated with the stars, the sun, and courage, not GPS. Imagine crossing an endless ocean with only the sky and your instincts to guide you. An extraordinary feat even by today's standards. The evidence isn't grand monuments, but subtle clues at the northern tip of Newfoundland, Canada. Here, the land itself holds secrets, remnants of ancient homes, tools, and firesides. For centuries, their stories survived in epic Norse sagas, tales of Vinland, the land of plenty. These stories, passed down through generations, kept the memory of their journey alive. Many dismissed these as myths, but science uncovered the truth. Through carbon dating, DNA analysis, and painstaking excavation, the legends became reality. Archaeologists dug up proof. Norse explorers built a settlement in North America a full millennium ago. Their presence, though brief, left an indelible mark on history. Their brief presence rewrites the timeline of human migration. It reminds us that the story of America is older, richer, and more interconnected than we ever imagined. History isn't a straight line, it's a web of journeys, encounters, and rediscoveries. Every path, every crossing adds a new thread to the tapestry of our past. So let's set sail for the real beginning of America's European story, a story of courage, curiosity, and the endless human quest to see what lies beyond the horizon. Our journey lands at Meadows, perched on the windswept northern tip of Newfoundland, where the land meets the restless Atlantic. This remote, rugged coastline holds secrets that have changed our understanding of history. In the 1960s, Norwegian explorer Helge Ingstad and his wife, archaeologist Anne Stein Ingstad, followed tantalizing clues from ancient Norse sagas. Driven by curiosity and determination, they searched for the legendary Vinland, a place described in Viking tales as a land of opportunity across the sea. The saga's cryptic directions led them not to the forests of New England, as many had believed, but to this windswept meadow on the edge of the continent, where the grass bends to the ocean breeze. What appeared to be simple grassy mounds scattered across the landscape were, in fact, the buried remains of ancient Norse buildings, silent witnesses to a forgotten chapter of exploration. Careful excavation revealed timber-framed longhouses, a blacksmith's forge, and workshops. Clear, unmistakable signs of a Norse settlement built with skill and purpose over 1,000 years ago. This was no fleeting camp, but a well-organized base for exploration, industry, and survival. The Norse here repaired ships, forged iron, and prepared for journeys deeper into the unknown. Meadows remains the only confirmed Norse site in North America, a unique link between continents and cultures. Radiocarbon dating and artifact analysis confirmed the settlement was built around the year 1000 AD, centuries before Columbus set sail. This extraordinary discovery proved that the Norse sagas were not just legends, but accounts rooted in real events and real people who crossed the Atlantic. Here on this northern shore, people from Europe and the descendants of those who crossed the Bering Strait thousands of years earlier finally met, 5 centuries before Columbus's famous voyage. Recognizing its global significance, Meadows was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, symbolizing the first closing of the human migration circle and the meeting of two worlds. Today, this quiet shore where gentle waves lap the land marks the place where continents and cultures first touched in the New World. Meadows stands as a powerful monument to the human journey, our endless curiosity, courage, and the enduring spirit of exploration. How did the Norse cross the world's most dangerous ocean? The North Atlantic was a place of freezing winds, towering waves, and unpredictable storms, a true test for any sailor. Yet, the Vikings managed to conquer these waters centuries before most Europeans dared to try. Their secret was the longship, a marvel of engineering and craftsmanship that set them apart from other seafarers of their time. These vessels were long, flexible, and built with overlapping planks, perfect for rough seas. The clinker-built design allowed the hull to flex with the waves, absorbing the ocean's fury instead of fighting it. A shallow draft let them sail up rivers and hug coastlines, making landfall almost anywhere. This versatility meant they could explore, raid, or trade wherever opportunity called. While a high prow and stern kept them stable in open water, these features also helped cut through waves and protected the crew from icy spray. Powered by a single square sail and rows of oars, they could harness wind or muscle. When the wind died or storms threatened, the crew's strength kept the ship moving forward. Navigation was by sun and stars, no compass, just skill and observation. Viking navigators memorized the sky, the sea, and the subtle signs of nature. Sunstones helped them find the sun even on cloudy days. This mysterious crystal could reveal the sun's position, guiding them when the sky was gray. They read the sea, birds, watercolor, and clouds all gave clues. Flocks of birds meant land was near, while canyons in the waves gave them hidden shores and reefs. This technology led them island hopping from Norway to Shetland, Faroe Islands, Iceland, Greenland, and finally North America. Each leg of the journey was carefully planned, using islands as safe harbors and waypoints. Each island was a stepping stone, each voyage a leap into the unknown. The Norse spirit of adventure drove them ever westward, into lands no one from Europe had seen before. Their ships carried people, supplies, and livestock, everything needed for survival. They brought not just warriors, but families, tools, and animals to build new lives. The longship was their spaceship, unlocking the Atlantic. It was both a weapon and a lifeline, connecting distant worlds. Mastery of the sea made their American adventure possible. Without these skills and ships, the Norse would never have reached the shores of the new continent. The Norse were the astronauts of their age, bold, ingenious, and unafraid to cross the vast unknown in search of new worlds. What drove the Norse to risk everything and sail west? Scarce farmland and fierce competition at home pushed them to seek new opportunities. The sea offered escape, wealth, and freedom. Their westward expansion began with raids, then evolved into settlement. Timber was vital, especially for Greenland's treeless colony. Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, set out seeking new lands and resources. Vinland, rich in timber and fish, was irresistible. At Meadows, Leif focused on survival and industry, preparing ships, gathering resources, and preparing for the next voyage. The settlement was a seasonal base camp, not a permanent colony. A small group, men and women, worked together to support Greenland. Their resilience and planning made this pioneering existence possible. Picture a day at Meadows, year 1001. The sun rises over sod-covered longhouses, smoke drifts from fires inside. Men head to the forest for timber, axes echoing in the crisp air. Inside, communal life centers around a fire pit, cooking, warmth, and stories. Women spin wool, men clothes, and prepare food. Every task vital for survival. The smithy is key here. Bog iron is forged into nails, tools, and ship parts. Ironworking was their technological edge, keeping them self-sufficient. Evenings brought the community together for meals and tales from the sagas. Life balanced the Norse tradition with the challenges of the new world. The settlement was a bubble of Europe on the edge of the unknown. Every day was a test of adaptation and teamwork. Vinland was both a promise and a challenge. The Atlantic crossing was the ultimate test. Open-decked longships faced storms, rogue waves, and freezing water. Survival was never guaranteed. Icebergs and fog added deadly risks, making navigation perilous. Getting lost meant drifting for weeks, supplies dwindling. The Norse managed these dangers by island hopping Norway to the Shetlands, Faroe Islands, Iceland, Greenland, then North America. Each leg allowed rest, repairs, and resupply. The longest, most dangerous stretch was from Iceland to Greenland. Once in Greenland, they staged the final leap to Vinland. The sagas tell of ships lost and crews who never returned. Every voyage west was a gamble with fate. Their courage and seamanship were extraordinary. The pull of new lands outweighed the risks. The Norse story is told through the artifacts they left behind. Iron rivets and slag show they built and repaired ships on site. A spindle whorl, used for spinning wool, proves women and families were present. This wasn't just a camp for warriors, it was a real, if temporary, community. A bronze ring-headed pin, a personal item, connects us to individual lives. Each artifact is a puzzle, a whetstone for sharpening, butternuts from far south, and more. The butternuts reveal they explored well beyond Newfoundland, gathering resources from distant regions. These finds ground the sagas in reality. The Norse weren't just passing through, they were living, working, and exploring. Every object tells a story of adaptation and ambition. The site's artifacts bridge legend and fact. They reveal a human story, not just a historical event. Meadows is a time capsule of Viking America. The Norse didn't arrive in an empty land. North America was home to millions. The Beothuk and other indigenous peoples lived around Meadows. The Norse called them Skraelings. The sagas describe tense encounters. Initial trade quickly turned to conflict. Misunderstandings and violence followed. The Norse had iron tools but were outnumbered and isolated. The sagas make clear, constant threat from indigenous groups made permanent settlement impossible. Archaeology shows no indigenous artifacts in Norse buildings, but the impact was real. The Norse experiment ended after only a few years. Unlike later European colonization, this first contact was brief and ended with retreat. The land remained in indigenous hands for 5 more centuries. Meadows marks a fleeting, pivotal encounter. What have we learned? Norse explorers reached North America around 1000 AD, building a settlement at Meadows. They were master mariners, using advanced ships and navigation to cross the Atlantic. Artifacts show a community of men and women living on the edge of their world. Their stay was short. Hostile relations with indigenous peoples forced their return to Greenland. The Norse achievement was remarkable, but unsustainable. Yet mysteries remain. Was Meadows the only site? How far did they explore? Butternuts hint at journeys far south, but the full story is still unfolding. The Vikings in America remind us that history is always being rewritten. Science turns legend into fact, and every discovery brings new questions. The saga of Vinland is ancient, but our quest to understand it is just beginning.